Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome. I'm so glad you decided to click on this. Seriously, if you're here, you're probably curious about this whole Christianity thing, or maybe you just want to know what's actually in the Bible. Today, we're going to look at one of the most foundational books ever written. It's called the Gospel of John. Now, don't zone out on me. I know gospel sounds super old school, but trust me, this book hits different. It's not just a dusty historical document. It's about life. It's about light, and it's about finding a meaning that's built different than anything else out there. We're going to break it down, who wrote it, why, and how does any of this apply to your feed, your friends, and your life today? Let's dive in. So, this book is the Gospel of John. It's the fourth book in the New Testament. It's an eyewitness account of the life of Jesus, but it's not the standard bio. It's got a totally unique vibe. Now, who's the writer? The book itself doesn't drop a name right at the beginning like, yo, it's John. But it keeps referring to a specific person, the disciple whom Jesus loved. That's a major flex, right? Church history, like the ancient sources, is pretty clear. The author is John, the son of Zebedee. He was one of the OG 12 disciples of Jesus. He was part of the inner circle, Peter, James, and him. Think of him as the main character's best friend who gets all the exclusive behind-the-scenes content. He was a fisherman, which in our world is like a small business owner, not some fancy scholar. He was a regular guy. He saw everything. He heard every teaching. He literally leaned on Jesus' chest at the last dinner. So when did he write this? Well, the general consensus is that John wrote this pretty late. While many scholars place the writing of the Gospel of John between 85 and 95 AD, decades after the other three Gospels, it's worth considering that John may have been reflecting on events that occurred before the destruction of the Jerusalem temple in 70 AD. The temple is still described as standing in his account, which opens the door to an earlier context for some of its content. John was likely the last of the original eyewitnesses still alive. Imagine carrying the memory of the most astonishing, transformative experience of your life for half a century. That's what John had, 50 or 60 years to reflect, pray, and wrestle with the meaning of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection. By the time he wrote, John was elderly, living in Ephesus in what is now Turkey, and deeply steeped in both spiritual insight and historical perspective. His gospel doesn't just retell events, it interprets them through a lifetime of contemplation, offering a profound theological lens shaped by decades of faith and experience. What was the world like then? The first wave of Christians was getting older. Persecution was a thing, and importantly, people were starting to argue over who Jesus actually was. Some people were trying to dilute Jesus like, oh, he was just a great prophet, or he was a spiritual guru. They were trying to make him less divine. And John was like, nah, fam, that's a myth. He wrote this book to set the record straight. The whole goal, it's dropped at the end in one perfect verse. John chapter 20, verse 31. It says that everything in the book was written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. The thesis statement of the whole book is right there. Believe in Jesus, get eternal life, period. So, how does John pull this off? He doesn't tell the story chronologically. He's not going for the full, detailed Wikipedia entry of Jesus' life. Instead, he curates the content. He's like the ultimate social media manager, hand-selecting the best posts to prove one point. He focuses on 7 major signs, which the other Gospels call miracles. Why signs? Because they're not just cool magic tricks. They're like neon arrows pointing to Jesus' true identity. The first sign, turning water into wine at a wedding. It's basically Jesus' first public flex. He's saying, I can take the ordinary and make it extraordinary. But the real power of John's gospel is the language. He starts with this mind-blowing line, John chapter 1, verse 1. It starts, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Whoa, that's a lot to unpack. The word here is the Greek word logos. For the audience John was writing to, logos meant the ultimate logic, the wisdom, the rational force that holds the universe together. It's the source code of reality. John is saying Jesus is the source code. Before time existed, before the universe was launched, Jesus was there. He wasn't created. He's pre-existent. He is God. The big theme here is high Christology. It means John presents Jesus as fully 100% God and fully 100% human. This is why John is full of those famous I am statements. When Jesus says I am, he's not just completing a sentence. He's referencing the way God identified himself to Moses in the Old Testament. He's saying, I am the answer to all your questions. I am the solution to all your problems. He says, I am the bread of life. It is like saying, I'm your ultimate energy source. The one thing that actually satisfies. I am the light of the world. And like saying, Mansur, I'm the flashlight in the dark, the screen brightness when you're lost. I solve confusion. I am the good shepherd, like saying, I'm your ultimate guide, your protector, your most loyal friend. I won't let you get lost in the feed. I am the way, the truth, and the life, like saying, I'm not a path, I'm the only way. I'm not an opinion, I'm the only truth. I'm not a phase, I'm eternal life. John's message is clear. Jesus is not just a prophet. He's not just a teacher. He is God in human form. The ultimate goal of this book is to get you to move past curiosity and into conviction. Not just believing that Jesus existed, but believing in Jesus, trusting him with your entire life. Okay? So why does a book written 2,000 years ago matter to a Gen Z viewer right now? John's Gospel speaks directly to two things we care about a lot: authenticity and identity. Think about the search for identity today. We're constantly building our personal brand. We're curating our perfect aesthetic online. We define ourselves by our interests, our followers, our politics, and our achievements. But what happens when the algorithm changes? What happens when your perfect selfie doesn't get the likes? Your identity feels fragile. It's built on sand. John offers a different kind of identity. He writes in John chapter 1, verse 12, but to all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. He's saying that your identity is not based on your performance. It's based on your position as a child of God. It's like getting a permanent, uncancelable membership in the ultimate royal family. No matter what you do, who you are is locked in. That's main character energy, but real this time. Let's talk about life and light. We live in a world of endless content. Everyone's trying to sell you a hack for happiness, success, or mental health. We're bombarded with information, yet a lot of us still feel empty. We feel burnt out. We're looking for the true light in a sea of sponsored posts and deep fakes. John calls this spiritual emptiness darkness. When Jesus says, I am the light of the world, he's saying, I am the only thing that can cut through the noise, the confusion, and the lies. He's the filter that makes everything else make sense. Imagine you're trying to figure out a complex coding challenge and you've been staring at lines of confusing errors for hours. You're in the dark. Then your mentor walks over, highlights one single line of code and says, there's your syntax error. Suddenly the whole program runs. Jesus is that mentor. He's the one thing that brings clarity and flow to a chaotic existence. He's not just giving you a temporary dopamine hit. He's offering eternal life, which John often describes as a quality of life right now, a deep, satisfying relationship with God that is always on. It's an unlimited data plan with the Creator. It never buffers. This is why John emphasizes love. The famous John chapter 3 verse 16 is the heart of the whole message. It's the viral soundbite of the gospel. It says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. It's the ultimate love letter. It's not just a nice feeling. It's an action. God sent Jesus. This isn't about being good enough. It's about being loved enough to be worth saving. In a world where we constantly feel pressure to earn our worth, the Gospel of John is the ultimate free gift drop. It's saying you don't have to earn it. It's a gift. Just believe. So here's the challenge John's Gospel gives you. The key word in this entire book is believe. It pops up like 100 times. But what does it actually mean to believe? In John's mind, it's not just giving a thumbs up to a cool idea. It's not just hitting the like button on Jesus' teachings. It's about trusting him fully, like a deep, authentic friendship. Imagine you have a friend who says, "Trust me, this new restaurant is fire. The menu looks weird, but the food is incredible." To truly believe him, you don't just say, "Yeah, I believe you." You actually drive there, order the food, and eat it. Believing in Jesus is the same. It's putting your faith into action. It's betting your life on the fact that he is who he says he is, the way, the truth, and the life. The ultimate challenge of this book is to stop being a spectator of your own life and start being a participant in God's story. If Jesus is the light, you have to actually step out of the shadows. If Jesus is the bread, you have to actually eat. If Jesus is the source of eternal life, you have to reach out and take it. Don't let your faith be a draft in your notes app, something you plan to get back to later. The Gospel of John invites you to make it a permanent post, to make it the foundation of your entire personal brand. It's the ultimate vibe check for your soul. Does your inner world match the truth of the one who created you? The promise is huge. Life in his name. A life that is secure, meaningful, and eternal. A life that doesn't just survive this era, but thrives now and forever. So, I encourage you. Read the book for yourself. Start with John chapter 1. Don't skim. Don't just rely on the summaries. Go to the source, because what you'll find there is the ultimate plot twist. The light that came into the world is actually waiting to light up your world. And that's a truth worth believing. Thank you so much for hanging out and giving this such focus. I know this stuff can be heavy, but I hope you feel a little more connected to the story now. If this resonated with you, share it with a friend who might also be curious. Let's keep this conversation going. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one.